Okay, checking to see if the audio is good. Okay, good. So, good morning and welcome back, everyone. I'm your natural English coach, Nagi, and it's time for this week's lesson. So, as per usual with our pronunciation, I would like you to try and say this sentence first. Go ahead and try it now. Okay, so we say first is the worst, second is the best. It's a pretty easy sentence to understand, but there are a few words in the sentence that are really important to pay attention to. Now, this lesson is going to be all about consonants. And what are consonants, first of all? Let's go over to our whiteboard. Almost. Hold on. There we go. Hey, there we go. I'll get used to that eventually. So the word consonant. So does anyone know what a consonant is in English? So a consonant is any letter or sounds that the letters make that are things like F, V, B, D, T, K. All of these letters make consonant sounds. Now, it's probably easier to remember which ones are the vowel sounds. The vowel sounds, because there's only 5 main vowel sounds in English. You probably already know them, right? So those vowel sounds are A, E, I, O, and U. All right, so those are our 5 vowel sounds, the 5 main vowel sounds, and everything else is going to be a consonant sound. It's usually easiest to think of that vowel sounds are generally open sounds. So when we're making them, we are letting air out of our body. And the consonant sounds are the way that we use our mouths to close the air or to kind of trap the air in certain ways through your nose and your mouth and your throat that makes all the different sounds of our words, right? So specifically for Japanese speakers of English, there are certain types of consonants that are very difficult to pronounce, and it's very important to practice them. And our first one are what I would call consonant stops. So looking back at our, there we go. Looking back at our sentence, there are 4 words in the sentence that have consonant stops at the end of the words. So can you see what they are, those 4 words? Let's go back to, all right, got it in first try. So we have the words first, worst, second, best. So the consonant stops at the end of the words here are right here. The T's and the D. Right? First, worst, second, best. Now this is a pronunciation problem that doesn't often get enough attention, but it is actually very important if you want to sound natural while speaking English. Now let's look at why. Oops. Let's look at this one first. Actually, let's go back to this one. So first, let's just try out these 4 words. So please start by saying the upper left word now. The word is best. We just had that one, right? Best. Best. Good. Now try the upper left word. The upper right word, sorry. The word is carrot. 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 Good. Now try the bottom left word. This word is a little bit trickier than you might think. Listen carefully. The word is asked. 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 So again, slowly I would say asked. You hear the K sound and the T sound right next to each other, right? Asked. But when and also notice that the final sound is not a D sound, it's not asked, although some people might pronounce it that way. At least when you usually hear it, it'll be asked, even though you see a D at the end. That's an important distinction, right? It's an important thing to notice. But when I say it at normal speed, when I'm speaking naturally, I say ast, ast, ast. Can you hear it? It's all of the sounds are just squished together, right? So our final word on the bottom right. Try it now. The word is knife. 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 All right, good. So now let's go over to this other page. All right, so we have our 4 words from before, right? We have best, asked, carrot, and knife. Now, there are a couple words from these, at least a couple, that you use directly in Japanese without using a Japanese originated word, right? You just use the English word itself. However, it's very important to remember that the words, the English loan words that you use in Japanese are not pronounced the same way as they are in casual, natural English. And learning the differences is very important if you want to sound natural when you're speaking all English, right? So let's look at the first one, best, right? And I'm going to try to pronounce these in Japanese, and I'm probably not going to be very good at it because my Japanese is not very good. So I'm also learning in my own way. But usually when you say best in a Japanese form, you would say besto, besto, right? And if you want to say asked, the closest you would probably say is askuto, askuto, right? And with carrot, keroto, keroto. And for knife, knaifu, 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 right? So notice that it's really important to train your ears and listen very closely because there is a very important distinction, right? A very important difference between the natural English sound of best and the Japanese sound of besto, right? Besto. The to and the t are 2 distinct sounds. So let's go back to our whiteboard. So the thing about Japanese, when we're talking about our, let's undo that, vowels and our consonants, right? So with the Japanese alphabet, right, our hiragana and our katakana, all of the letters or the, all the letters in hiragana and katakana, like a, I, U, E, O, ka, ki, ku, se, so, right? All of those, unfortunately, I don't have a Japanese keyboard installed on this computer. Actually, maybe I do. Let's try it out. Can I do it? There we go. Nice. So we have I, I, U, right? E, O, right? Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, right? And so on and so forth. But with Japanese letters like this, with these ones, all of them have 2 sounds. Most of them have 2 sounds. A, I, U, E, O, I'd only have 1 sound, right? But letters like ka, ki, ku, ke, ko actually have 2 sounds to them. First is the k sound, which is the consonant, right? The consonant sound of k. And then it's followed, whoops, what did I do? I don't know. We have the consonant sound, and then we have the vowel sound after it, which in this case is ah, right? K, ah. Those are the two sounds to make ka. So most of hiragana and katakana alphabet are combinations of consonant and vowel sounds. Besides for the sound right? There really isn't many letters that end with a consonant sound, and that's why you get things like besto, because to ends with a vowel o. And when you're speaking, when you're saying English loanwords in Japanese, it's normal to end with to or do or some sort of o sound or u sound. The o and the u sounds are the most common ways to end loanwords, right? But it's very important to learn the difference between natural consonant stops in English and the endings of u and o in Japanese loanwords, or English loanwords in Japanese, essentially. All right, let's go back to our main part. All right, so basically this is what we're practicing, right? So let's try our 3 sentences first. Go ahead and say the top sentence, and then I will read it, and then you can try it again. All right, this one is the best of the rest, right? Not the besto of the resto, it's the best of the rest, right? You cut it off right at the end of the consonant and don't say the vowel. All right, try it again. All right, now try saying the middle sentence. All right, that was the worst test. You probably remember the word worst from the time that we were practicing the low sound, right? Worst. Worst is a pretty difficult it's a pretty difficult word to say from Japanese to English, because of not only does it have a group of consonants, it also has that low sound, right? So it's basically just a bunch of tricky sounds all put together. It's a really important word to practice if you want to sound natural. Worst, right? Worst, worst. That was the worst test. Try it again. All right, now go ahead and try to say the bottom sentence. Okay, you did a good job today. You did a good job today. Go ahead and try it again. All right, nice. So, these next set of words also involve practicing consonants, consonant sounds, right? So this one, however, the consonant sounds are not focused on the end of the word, they're in the middle or at the beginning, right? These are also things that you need to practice. So go ahead and try saying the top left word. All right, the word is stop. Stop, right? So, of course, it has the P at the end. So if you're saying the English loanword in Japanese, you say stop, stop, right? We don't want that U sound at the end. We just want the P, stop, right? We also have the S and the T consonant sounds at the beginning, which smush together. It's not sutopu, right? It's not sutopu. It's stop. All right, go ahead and try the upper right word. Okay, now here's that tricky L sound again that we practiced in one of our previous pronunciation lessons, right? The word is plan, plan, right? The A sound can be tricky too because it's an open sound. It's not the same ah, it's ah. It's kind of an American sound in some way. Plan, plan, right? Try it again. Plan. Remember that when you're making the L sound, it's easiest to put your tongue between your teeth. Plan, plan. Okay, now try saying the bottom left word. All right, this word is black. Black. Again, a bunch of tricky sounds all together, right? And again, in the Japanese, or the English loan word in Japanese would be buraku, 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 right? So we don't want the bu sound at the beginning, we want bl, not bu, black, black. Try it again. Good. All right. And for our last word, this is a word that you're probably very familiar with if you speak Japanese, right? Now, in Japanese, you would say kamera, right? Kamera. However, this is a word that is quite different when you're speaking natural English. We say camera, camera, right? Try that one, camera. Now notice something interesting here. Because in Japanese, most of your syllables, right, most of the sounds that you make are made up of the consonant sound and the vowel sound together, it's quite common for a lot of words to have more syllables in Japanese than they do in English, because in English we like to take all of those consonant sounds, the st and the pl and the bl, all those consonant sounds, and kind of smush them together into one sound or one syllable, right? That's why camera is two sounds in English, natural English, or two syllables, right? Camera, camera. That's two sounds, two syllables. But in Japanese, kamera, that's three sounds or three syllables, and it totally changes the sound of the word, right? It changes the pronunciation to the point where if you say kamera to somebody who only speaks English, they probably won't understand what you're saying, even though the word is spelled the same way and means the same thing. That's why we do all these pronunciation practices, right? Camera, camera. All right, let's try some sentences. Go ahead and try saying the top sentence now. All right, here are two words that are really tricky and important to get right. Please make yourself comfortable. Do you remember the word comfortable from, I think, our last lesson, actually? It's one, again, that changes the number of syllables that it has when you say it in Japanese versus when you say it in English. In English, we say comfortable. How many sounds is that? Three sounds, right? Three sounds. Comfortable. Comfortable. To be fair, this word is not spelled the same way that it sounds, not even a little bit. So this is one you kind of have to memorize and practice a lot. Comfortable. But when I've been teaching Japanese speakers English, most of the time I hear them say comfortable, comfortable, right? And it's just not anything similar. So it's important to practice comfortable, right? And then, of course, the word please, please, right? The P and the L sounds together are one sound, not please, right? Not pu, but pl, please. All right, good. Go ahead and try the middle sentence now. Okay, so the middle sentence is, I came up with a smart plan. I came up with a smart plan. Go ahead and try it again. All right, good. Now the last one is, well, go ahead and you try to say the last one first. Okay. The plant's leaves turned black. The plant's leaves turned black. Go ahead and try it again. All right, good job. Now we have some speaking practice with both the final consonant ending points and the consonant clumps that are in the middle, or in the beginning or in the middle, right? So these are all words that we just practiced. If you need to, if you're watching this after the live stream, remember that you can pause the video and rewind and go back to earlier parts so that you can practice more effectively, right? All right, let's try this. Go ahead and say number 1 now. Okay. Please cut the carrot with a knife. Please cut the carrot with a knife. Try it again. All right, good. Go ahead and try number 2 now. Okay. We need to stop the man's plan. We need to stop the man's plan. Try it again. Okay. And now, number 3. Go ahead and try number 3 now. Okay. I asked the waiter for the best wine. I asked the waiter for the best wine. Try it again. Okay. Good. Now try number 4. Okay. I bought a new black camera. I bought a new black camera. Try it again. Okay, good job. So remember that if you practice these every day, even just a little bit, you will improve your pronunciation pretty quickly, right? Okay, now we come to our final part, which is reviewing the vocabulary we learned from last week. And again, all of these live streams are saved on my YouTube channel, so if you ever want to practice during the rest of the week, you can always go back anytime and revisit them, okay? So let's try and fill in these sentences. Do you remember all of the vocabulary from last week? Let's find out. So go ahead and try number 1. Okay. There are strange noises coming from the room. It's freaking me out. It's freaking me out. Go ahead and try again. Okay, now try number 2. Okay, so number 2 is I'm not comfortable with being in charge of this important project. I'm not comfortable with. Try it again. Okay, now try number 3. Okay, his sudden anger is a big red flag. A big red flag. Again, flag is another one of those words that has the consonants squished together. Fla, flag. Go ahead and try number 3 again. Okay, now go ahead and try number 4. Okay, number 4. He asked for too much money. It didn't sit right with me. It didn't sit right with me. Go ahead and try it again. Okay, and finally, number 5. Go ahead and try number 5 now. Okay, be careful when you travel in the sketchy part of town. The sketchy part of town. Go ahead and try number 5 again. All right, nice job. So that is it for today. Like I said a little bit earlier, you can find all of the lessons I have done that I've done live stream on my channel as well, so you can watch them whenever you like, right? Also, please remember to like this video, to share it, and also to subscribe to my channel, because all of those things will really help me spend more time teaching you, okay? And also, if you ever have a comment when you're watching the live stream, feel free to enter it into the chat, and I will see it and be able to respond to you in real time. If you see something and have a question on one of my older videos, please also leave a comment, and then I will correct your English or answer your question. And aside from that, that's it. I will see you next